Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everybody. So yes, I will try to be quite short so that we can have a conversation later on. I need the presentation, please. Okay, perfect. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here today. I'm really thrilled by being here and by this tradition that you have every year to be here in Jerusalem and to meet together here. Last time we had the honor last year to host you at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This year it's here. It doesn't matter. It's in Jerusalem, and I was really, really touched to see the list of the people participating. 40 countries. It's really, really amazing. 50, so the number has grown. So I'm really, really glad too. I just met someone from Australia and from South Korea, etc. It's really, really touching. And special thanks, of course, to Albert Wexler for everything and for the excellent collaboration all the time. So, who we are. So we call ourselves Israel, the land of the Bible. The Declaration of Independence of Israel, you just read it. So I see it's very trendy to talk about the Declaration. May 1948, it was already written there that it will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscience, language, education, and culture. These values are still valid today and are the drive of our activity. We are not only the Jewish state, but also home to various cultures, traditions, languages, and religions. Beside the Jewish majority, we have Muslims, Christians, Druze, and others living side by side as equal citizens of the State of Israel. Faith has always been a powerful force in shaping human history and society. It provides individuals with a sense of purpose, moral guidance, and a connection to something greater than themselves. Across continents and cultures, religious beliefs have played a central role in defining identities, values, and worldviews. Recognizing this, we must acknowledge the influence of faith and that faith-based diplomacy can wield in building bridges of understanding and strengthening the bonds that unite us. You, as friends of Israel, are aware of the many challenges that we face. But you have the power to help us, and this is why I'm going to explain you what we need to face nowadays. You can, and we can together convey messages of tolerance and respect and countering haters' initiatives. Israel delegitimization is one of the biggest challenges of Israel's diplomacy. It has many faces, like bashing in the UN arena and else, but we will now concentrate on two main activities, on BDS and anti-Semitism. So BDS, you know what it is. Unfortunately, 2022, we have witnessed a 150% increase in anti-Israel and BDS activity on social media. The problem is that it's not only social media. You know that when there are many hate speeches and hate messages, these messages on social media come into actions in real life, and this is why it is so important to counter them. There's also the ARA definition of anti-Semitism. That is something that we can use, but BDS supporters are working very hard in order to counter and to challenge these definitions. So this is why we need to counter all these activities. A second part of delegitimization is the anti-Semitic phenomenon. So on the one hand, you see that worldwide, there's been a small decline in 2022 compared to 2021. This is because in Europe, there were less events than the year before. But if I say less, it's less in terms of number. There were less events, but the events were more violent in nature. So we don't know it's better or worse. But what is clear is that if we look at the map of the United States, there's been an increase. You see the numbers, 3,700 acts of anti-Semitism only in 1 year, 2022, which is something that we never saw before. And in percentage, it's 25% increase. So this is something that we really need to understand, and we need to face and to tackle together. Anti-Zionism also is a hidden way of expressing anti-Semitism, and many anti-Semites hide their hatred online, but not only online, through anti-Zionism. The hatred that is directed towards Jews is directed indiscernibly to the Jewish state as well as to the Jewish people. It doesn't matter if it's Israeli policies or just Israelis or Jews. It's in the same hatred. It doesn't matter how you look at it. But one of the ways of responding to it is, first of all, by education, including using tools of interfaith dialogues and encounters. And this is why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs invests in creating platforms for interfaith dialogue and forge partnerships that transcend religions' boundaries. So what we do, and why is there a Department of World Religions in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel? It's an important question because it's not something that you can find in any foreign affairs ministry in the world. It happens in some other places, but it covers very different topics. We in Israel, we have to have that department because we are not like any other country. Our society is different. It's a rich tapestry of cultures and religions. And since we are home to the holiest sites of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and others, for us, the subject of religion is very essential. Matters that pertain to religion in Israel are not considered only as internal affairs, but have an impact on Israel's international relations and on foreign policy. And this is why the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has to deal with religions. Faith-based diplomacy is a tool that complements traditional diplomacy. It is rooted in the shared values and moral teachings of our faith traditions. It also operates on the principle that religious leaders and institutions can be powerful agents of positive change in matters of peace and conflict resolution. Faith-based diplomacy serves as a powerful counterforce also to extremism and radicalization. By promoting a message of tolerance, understanding, and respect, religious leaders can offer an alternative that counters the rhetoric of hatred and division. And this is why we attempt to strengthen the relationship with all religions of the State of Israel, with different faith communities, not only in Israel, but also around the world, through our embassies and consulates. We have 108 missions around the world. And of course, we are very much supported by you, our Christian brothers and sisters everywhere in the world. So we really work well together. We also, as a department, as a ministry, we respond and we care for whatever anti-religious act that happened here in the land of the Bible. It happens to some communities. It's being done by extremist groups or people, individuals. But we, as a state, we repeat all the time that we refer to the Declaration of Independence, and we are really committed to protecting all religions and all minorities. We also encourage interfaith dialogue and delegations and conferences in Israel or elsewhere in the world so that we have a global impact. So, of course, Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast is a very important partner for us. There are many events that are being organized in the world in partnership with our consulates and our embassies. And these meetings are not just interfaith meetings, but they have deep diplomatic and political added value. Many times during the past few years, Albert came back from different gatherings and told me, you know, in this parliament and with this congressman, we had a great declaration about Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, about the idea of transferring the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So it's not just, you know, acts of support or words of support, but it has a real impact in parliaments, in the highest places in various states. So it is very important, it's a very important diplomatic tool for us. We have also other gatherings and other organizations that we work with, like the Parliament of Religions that meet from time to time. The next meeting will be this summer in Chicago. There's the organization called IRFBA, which is the International Religions and Freedom or Belief Alliance, created in 2020 by Secretary of State Pompeo, and that is still under State Department. And this is an organization that deals with discriminations on the basis of religions. We, Israel, are a member of this organization. We meet every month by Zoom, but there are many meetings and many statements dealing with various discriminations, religious discriminations. The last statement that was adopted there was about Christians being discriminated and persecuted in some place in the world, and of course, Israel was a signatory to this statement. So just for you to have a broad idea of the activities that we are involved in. And of course, as I said before, the legitimization, anti-Semitism, combat extremism in any form. This is what we do, and that we can continue doing together. So I'm saying, how can you help? Because each time I'm meeting evangelist friends, I'm always being asked this question. So before you're asking, I'm already giving you the answer. I'm not saying you're not doing it. These are things that you already know, that you already do, but I'd like to repeat them. First of all, because I want to thank you for doing them, and also to encourage you to keep on doing them. So as I said before, one of the main tools for countering hatred and prejudice is education. It starts by communities meeting each other, and then it can involve in deeper engagements that can eventually lead to actions, like Israeli civil society lending hand to minorities in Israel. You have the power to help Jews in your countries in order to combat anti-Semitism. So one thing for anti-Semitism is adopting the definition of IRA, which is something that can be done by your church or by your local community, by your town, your parliament, wherever you think it's fit. It means that you understand that there is a challenge and there's a problem of anti-Semitism, and if you adopt the definition, it means that you understand what it is and you understand how to tackle it. So that's something important to be done. Promoting interfaith dialogue, of course, is something that helps bringing communities together and building bridges. And also, whenever there are anti-Semitic attacks or acts, if you can condemn them, if you can talk to the victims and, offer assistance, that's always welcome. And lobbying for Israel in a general way, wherever you can, whenever you can. I gave the example before of moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. But this is something very big, but there are many ways to help. And I know that you do this all the time. Now, in terms of social media, if you're not aware, so these are the platforms that we are present on. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and even recently on TikTok. Yes, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is there as well, because this is where the young generation is. We have 800 channels. We have the channels of the ministry, but we also have the channels of each and every consulate and embassy wherever you live, so you can follow in your own language. 10 million followers. We have seven languages. It's only 7 languages in the ministry. Of course, we have much more abroad. The channels that are very, very successful, and that's, I think it's interesting, it's the channel in Arabic, because we correspond with people in countries that we don't have diplomatic relations with, like from Iraq and many others. And we have another channel, or many channels in all these platforms, in Persian also. So we can communicate with people from Iran. It's not Iranian that are abroad, but really Iranian that are still in Iran, and they get like that, real information, updated information, relevant information from what's happening in Israel without any filter. And sometimes they also correspond with it. They not just look at the messages, but they correspond and they comment. And it's very important for us because we don't have any animosity between Israel and the people of Iran. Our only problem is with the regime. So it's really important for us, since there's this big misinformation. So by being able for them to read with us, to read what we post, but also to correspond with us, so things can be better, at least on the level of people to people. So if you don't follow us already, you are welcome to find us on all these channels, whichever you prefer and which language that you prefer. We'd be very happy. I know that it's important also for you in order to get relevant information. You help us very much every day, but also whenever there's a crisis, whenever there's a military operation, it's very important to get the real facts, and we are the ones to deliver them for you to read, but for you to use also and to share with whoever is willing to hear the facts. Yes, and the last word that I like to tell you is, again, that we are aware of the amazing work that you're doing on the ground in order to support Israel and the Jewish people. And this is really essential and valuable. And I'm really here to express our gratitude on that. And I'm saying that not only on my behalf, but on behalf of the Israeli government, on behalf of the Israeli people. We really, really cherish all the work that you're doing everywhere in the world. So thank you for your attention, and see you next year in Jerusalem. L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim.